Jesus explains the future of his teaching. Thereupon I said, the Lord, this you surely have, and I know that, for the most part, it will happen this way. Nevertheless, on the whole, it does not matter, because there are still a great number of schoolhouses in my creation. He who will not learn it in Jerusalem will be taught elsewhere. Yes, I know and see how a great multitude of false teachers will arise after me, saying to the people, Behold, here is Christ, or there he is. But I say to all of you now, even to your fellow men and children, none must believe such false teachers, for they shall easily be recognized by their works. Yet what constitutes a true disciple, according to my word, this you have heard yesterday in Emmaus, upon the mountain of Nicodemus, when I sent out 70 disciples to spread my teaching. And so, whenever you meet teachers who spread the coming of the kingdom of God among the people in this manner, according to my will, then you and everyone else shall consider them genuine, holy, true teachers. However, when teachers seek to make business with my teaching, even then in my name, for the purpose of obtaining money and other treasures, then consider them false, for they were never called by me to be propagators of my teaching. My true disciples and propagators of my pure teaching will always be poor in all earthly matters, just like me, and yet because of this they will be all the richer from a spiritual point of view. They have no need of acquiring my teaching and word through the time-consuming consultation with a predecessor. Instead, I will lay my teachings and will directly into their hearts and mouths. However, the false ones, by their long study of their equally false doctrines, will acquire and adopt all manner of texts, words, and proverbs, and only after having tediously mastered all this will they, by their boastful teachers and leaders, be ordained as disciples, by all manner of empty and blind ceremonies. This is exactly what happens now in the temple with the Pharisees, scribes, and elders, and even with you Gentiles, where the rank of priest is forming a real social class in and of itself, continuing from father to son, and into which one from among the common people is only accepted when one or the other priest happens to have no children, and even then, the newcomer must still be a child that must first be educated as a priest. So, how a true teacher and propagator of my pure teaching may be distinguished from a false one, this I have now clearly explained to all of you, and thus will everyone know to beware of the false teachers and prophets. However, he who will nonetheless follow and believe them, honor them, and even assist them in their machinations, he can only blame himself when he will be devoured by them down the line. Yes, it will even come to pass that the false prophets will exalt themselves upon golden thrones, seeking to persecute those that were chosen and called by me. However, when this happens, then their own judgment and end will come upon them. And despite that, my teaching will continue to exist among the people of the earth. However, only in quietude will it shine and radiate, bringing comfort to the people as a free possession, but never as a ruler, commanding entire nations with throne, crown, staff, and scepter. Where this will be the case in my name, I shall be far from there, and instead of my love will greed, avarice, envy, and persecution of all kinds dwell among the people, and one deceit will beget another. Once you spy such fruits among the people, then surely will you perceive what spirit truly dwells within those prophets who rule upon thrones, and from whom their false teachings originate. If you could have what is right and true at all times, provided that you have a desire for it, then surely you will not turn your heart to that which is false. And so, now you know that despite all the false prophets and teachers who will arise later on, my pure teaching will continue to persist among the people in quietude, without pompous display, until the end of times. The fact that this teaching of mine will only spread slowly among the people of the earth. The reasons for this I have already clearly shown you more than once, for I surely know best when a people is ready to accept my teaching. However, the things that could happen in all the somewhat ripe places on earth for a quick propagation of my teaching, those already have happened, and soon many more of them will happen. For this reason, we can now put this subject to rest without any further remarks, for we still have much more important things to discuss. Now Agricola spoke once again. It will undoubtedly be so, for you alone know best all the things that must happen upon this miserable earth. We, however, who cannot see into the future, and to whom you have only given that which is needed to traverse this earthly life as prosperously as possible, as a trial of our free will according to your teaching, and who, moreover, will still find many more obstacles strewn across the path of light, are, despite everything, filled with so much worry that we will ask ourselves, what will be the final result of all this? Will your holy and pure teaching come to all the people? And if so, when? Or will it always remain an exclusive possession of a few chosen ones? According to the words you uttered just now, the latter seems to be the case. Well then, so be it, because whatever is right for you, O Lord and Master, that must be right for us human beings as well, for we cannot change the situation without you. Because it pleased you to grant us humans, your created beings, a free will in addition to an equally free reason, you have thereby given us a free discernment as well, and thus have I now spoken the way I have. Yet I have gleaned from your reply that you still reserve quite extraordinary plans and purposes for the people. Otherwise, you would not permit that, in addition to the pure teaching that you have given now, and your well-instructed disciples, there will still rise other, false ones, and the people will once again be misled and shepherded into a godless darkness. I cannot speak any more this way, and I shall now concentrate on listening once again. Said I, "Friend, you will do good by that. It is better to listen than to preach, for as long as you still know far too little about the proper reason for doing so. Believe me, to create worlds is simple, but to call free beings into existence and allow them to perfect themselves, for the purpose of which the divine omnipotence, by virtue of the order of its love and wisdom, must remain silent and do nothing but observe. Now that is a difficult matter, even for me. In this endeavor, only my limitless patience and immense gentleness can help me. That is why the people must be put in all kinds of situations, both good and bad, by their very own faith and deeds, so that, by the consequences of said faith and deeds, they will grow sensible, and, of their own volition, begin to search for the proper light in the end. Just as all the creatures on this earth prosper materially between day and night, and summer and winter, so does man do the same spiritually. When the first men on this earth were walking spiritually in the clear daylight, in the end, the light simply became a burden to them. Later on, however, when the spiritual night appeared among them, Only then did they begin to understand the value of the spiritual day and appreciate it, and the better ones began to search scrupulously for the lost paradise. And then, to a few it was given to find the spiritual day once more, and many hurried to the happy ones who rediscovered the spiritual day, letting themselves be guided to the light. But many of those blinded by the world did not understand what a spiritual day even is, remaining in their night, compelled to do so by their own lethargy. They could not benefit from the joy of a spiritual day, and faced great adversity. This adversity, however, was a proper guard for the happy ones, for they could well notice what sort of fruits a man would grow in his spiritual night. Behold, this is when it happens. Besides the enlightened ones, there will always be the unenlightened ones as well, and they will multiply. But that is why the enlightened ones will never lack on this earth, and they will always be given the opportunity to enlighten those who are not with the light of life. Those who will do so in my name, their reward will be great in my kingdom. To be enlightened by my grace is a great and invaluable bliss for man, but it is 1,000 times more valuable to enlighten those who walk in darkness, that is, if they will accept the light. However, this must always be repeated to all of you, again and again. Cast not the pearls of my teaching before the swine of men. One who has become a true swine will remain as such, for even if, on a good day, such an individual may amicably listen to and heed a true and good word, still, the next chance he gets, he will return to his old puddle and jump right back in, fully content, remaining a swine. Thus, no gospel must be preached to such people. I have another gospel in store for this lot, one that their very own nature will proclaim to them, among much pain, wailing, and gnashing of teeth. And so we have debated another important subject, and now we may confidently move on to something entirely different. Those of you who still harbor doubts concerning one thing or another, you may rise and speak, for I wish that, tomorrow, now properly illuminated, you will leave with me the Mount of Olives. Therefore, all of you are now free to speak, as your reason will dictate. Thereupon most of them said, Lord, no longer do we have doubts, and we are jubilant because of it.